morning, everybody. John Spielke here for GAI Insights, bringing you the top news, essential, important, or optional. We have Chris Brock today of Quantum Proof and AI for Business and Life. Great to have you, Chris.
Good morning.
We have some of the usual suspects, Paul, Ankash, Luda, and Adam. All right. A lot of important news today. Ankash, start us off, please.
Sure, thanks, Sean. So the first one that we have for today comes from Google, and they are starting a new era of intelligence with Gemini 3.
Yeah, really quite amazing here. What do you think, Adam?
You know, something like this, I'm always tempted to say product announcement in a crowded space, optional news, right? Just because it's so absurd. Not there, I can't see any way this wouldn't be essential, right? This is, we just saw in the artificial analysis index last week that Google is very clearly leading in terms of the full stack in artificial intelligence. And this is just, you know, another spot that really cements them as the clear leader right now. This thing, it's getting the best scores on all the benchmarks. It's been highly anticipated. When Gemini 2.5 came out, it stood at the top of the leaderboards on a lot of things for 6 months, I think, until finally Anthropic and then Grok were able to unseat it. But I would expect Gemini 3.0 won't stay there as long. But some of the big news specifically around this, I mean, I'll just say it's essential and people should certainly look into the full extent of it. One we'll be discussing a little bit further later, which is anti-gravity, their new development environment, and going after that part of the market. But also part of it here is that literally it's shipping it day one at scale, right? So this isn't live now across Gemini, their AI search, AI Studio, Vertex AI, and that new anti-gravity that I was mentioning. So Google is moving aggressively. They're rolling out aggressively. It also has top scores for the Agentic AI benchmarks, which is obviously going to be a key factor as people look at multi-step workflows and how they're going to move forward with sort of building that next level of automation and intelligence with Agentic AI. So overall, look, it's essential news. We could get into a lot of the details, but I'll probably just leave it there.
All right. Essential from Adam. Ankash.
I was also essential on this one, John, due to all the reasons that Adam mentioned. Some of the things that people are doing with it, Ethan Mollick and a few others, those are just incredible. So just would say that it's an essential read for any AI leader.
Yeah, all right, Chris.
I'm going with essential as well. Anytime a foundational model drops a new total version, it's always an essential read. And Google's been doing so much research and so many releases. If you haven't checked them out, you definitely should.
All right, Luda.
Yeah, totally essential. And remember, Google was a lagger. We've been at the very beginning, we've been talking about where is Google? Where is Google? And now they're one of the leaders. And so this model appears to be really, really powerful. And Google is putting other tools around it to create a framework and platform and environment for enterprises to work in. So I think this is certainly essential.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, I think these are all essential, but also for the following reasons. This was in Wall Street Journal, top left above the fold. Now, kudos for Google lobbying Wall Street to get that up. So this is some AI leader need to know about. But let's be clear, in the corporate world, almost no company is going to use the Gemini employee secure as a secure employee bot. You know, it is something to be noted on the developer side. So I think it is important, a message that, you know, we've seen them be very, you know, top of the league for image and video, you know, and this may well put them into the top on the tech side. Our version, we don't yet have access to it. Adam, I did a quick scan of the Twitter reviews and they look mixed, other than the ones that are clearly paid to promote Google. So I think it's going to be use case specific.
I'd say most of the mixed reviews are around this new IDE that they have specifically.
Correct, yeah.
Which was maybe a bit rushed, but we'll be getting to that shortly.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, but you don't think a Google shop is going to use GEMS in this environment to do their work and agentic stuff?
But John, less than 5% of corporations are a Google shop for their employees. I mean, WEX was one of them. We are, but the vast majority of companies are Copilot. And we've seen in all our training is that from secure employee chatbot, the only thing CIOs are asking about is to do Copilot training or ChatGPT training. We have not had a single training on Gemini for employees, employee bot, even web to train on ChatGPT.
All right.
So, Paul, what I think is happening, the smaller companies and the startups are on Google, on Workspace and the like. So it is true that the divide is happening.
Well, I think outside of tech, I don't know a single company outside of tech that's Google Workspace. Every small company I talk with, or Chris, I know what your experience is still Microsoft Shop, and they are cost effective, cost sensitive, and really looking at Copilot.
From what I've seen, if a company's 10 years old and or newer, they could be a Google Shop. If they're older than 10 years old, they're almost exclusively Microsoft.
That's probably the right delineation, the timing, and how much money they have.
Yeah, a quick look says that Google has 50% of the office productivity market. So
yeah. See, there's a lot of smaller ones versus the large ones.
That's a lot more corporate.
I totally disagree. Oh, we can take it offline.
Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, so essential read, and we'll argue about market shares in a bit. Okay, next.
But John, but there's a reason we don't offer Gemini free Copilot or Gemini training 101 because we can't find anybody who wants it.
No, I hear you in terms of large corporates and stuff. I'm just saying there's a big market out there, small, medium-sized businesses
That's right.
Anyway, all right. Akash,
yes, Paul, maybe.
Gravity, yes.
Yes, John. Paul, maybe we do an experiment, float an idea for Gemini 101 training and see how many people turn up.
I'll post it today. Ask anyone I'm happy to do it if we find anyone to show up for it.
All right.
Okay, moving on to the next one, again from Google. So Google has introduced anti-gravity, which is their new IDE.
All right, Chris, I know you spend a lot of time most days, doing vibe coding and coding. What's up?
So anti-gravity is Google's bid to own the agent-first IDE. IDE is another acronym that I guess we need to know, and it's Integrated Development Environment. What this means is that they have developed a platform that we at scale can use AI agents. And with these AI agents, you can not only just prompt them, but you can actually supervise work that's being done. These can plan, they can code, they can run stuff in there. Like as an operator, they can browse and verify information. They can even remember your past work. So this is more than just an autocomplete. This is much more of a supervised AI agent infrastructure. I think Google needed to launch something like this. I think we've seen agent designs like Manus coming out from China and other places. So we've been waiting for a US-based big tech provider to provide this. With Google's current launch and all their research in tech, they believe this will be the agent-based infrastructure that you can change the world with if you have the right idea and you want to manage AI agents. So this is their platform to do so. In my opinion, this is essential to understand what's happening, and it can work with not just Gemini, but you could plug in Claude and a few other things into this environment as your infrastructure agent system.
All right. So essential, yes?
Yes.
Essential read. All right. Adam, you came in on important in the pregame. What's up?
Let me get back to my mute button. This is the one where I'll probably say it is a product announcement in a crowded space. Like all of the news out of Google, obviously today is huge news, but anti-gravity, I think it was a bit rushed. There's also a lot of beyond speculation. There's some clear evidence that it was a while back, a few months ago, basically Google gutted Windsurf and took a lot of their development and executive staff, in some ways a defensive measure because OpenAI was making a bid to buy them. And so that kind of broke them up, but they got a lot of that IP. And in this anti-gravity product, there are literally places where it's referencing the name of agents and components within Windsurf. So it's in many ways just, Google having gotten this intelligence out of Windsurf and now putting a wrapper around it and bringing it to market so they can be competitive. There are some interesting new ideas in here. I think this is definitely important news to be aware of, that they're now competing in this space, but people who are already using IDEs are probably going to get across this. And generally for enterprise, this is still too much towards vibe coding and not stuff that you could really be doing production deployment with.
Shame on them if they didn't do global search and replace and have code in there. My God.
That's funny. Luda.
Yeah, I was on the important side, not essential, for some of the reasons that Adam suggested. But just to be aware that now Google is competing in this space, and with the Gemini 3, it's actually a very good competitor. So I think it will be essential, but probably not yet.
All right, Paul.
I'm 100% optional. I mean, every engineer I know who's worth his salt, they have their own very particular way to evaluate potato, tomato. No AI leader is going to walk into a dev shop and tell the dev shop what tools to use. They're all hyper aware of the tool competition. They're talking about it all the time. I think this is not worth a minute for the non-technical.
Yeah, I'll say the important things are the improvements in terms of what it brings to market, so people can be aware of how these IDEs are getting better, and to understand that there are options out here. This has this concept of an inbox where you can kind of manage the agents that are working across your various projects. Right. And I think even just conceptually seeing some of the new features that are being brought to market is worthwhile for people to understand how the landscape is.
Adam, and I told so that's why the blog post.
That's why I said important, at least to bring it onto the radar.
Well, but I think what's really important is for the AI leader, they can understand we're moving towards a whole stack that goes from chip all the way up. So we may be looking at 2 years from now, this whole Wintel horizontal stack is completely gone. And companies have to decide the Microsoft stack, the AWS stack, the NVIDIA stack, open source stack, or the Gmail stack. Because I think they're going to continue to integrate these IDEs even tighter inside their cloud environments,
or have switches that would switch accordingly. Ram mentioned with the outage yesterday, right? Google is vertically integrated. They didn't have an outage, right? So it is competing on all these dimensions, and Google is leveraging their vertical integration. So we'll just see how it transpires.
All right, Akash.
I was also important on this one, John. I think now there are lots and lots of products from Google, and they are confusing things now. So they are putting in Gemini Enterprise as an agent development tool. Then there is Gemini CLI, which is a coding tool. There was one other which they have just stopped working on. So I think it's a lot confusing, but I agree with Adam's point. Leaders need to know this is an important entry in the space from Google. So not essential, but important on this one.
All righty. Important it is. Sorry about that, Chris. You get demoted. All right. Akash, next.
Okay, the next one comes from Microsoft, and Microsoft Ignite 2025 is going on. And this one is titled Copilot and Agents Build the Power, the Frontier Firm.
Yeah, Microsoft has this concept they call frontier firms, which we think of as hybrid organizations. Basically, who are the organizations that can do the right mix of AI and human intelligence, and really change the nature and economics and speed of those organizations. Luda, what did you think of this announcement?
Yeah, and I think what they're doing is saying, okay, we think that the future of work will be shaped by these frontier firms who are organized differently and human-led and agent-operated. And so they are introducing the whole platform, sweeping number of innovations that they put together to support that. And I think it's essential of what they're doing. And I think that the organizations that are on Microsoft will certainly start deploying it. So they're introducing the Work IQ. So this is a layer of intelligence where you could the bots will remember things about you, what you're doing, your company, and how you interface with other groups. Then they're building agent mode that integrates into Excel, PowerPoint, and in chat. So essentially across the Office apps. And then the Agent 365, the control layer that you could put agents working, and that layer, through that layer, you will be able to control what the agents are doing. So they're quite comprehensive new way of becoming a frontier firm, if you will. So essential.
All right. Paul, product announcement in the crowded space.
Let's understand, this is from Microsoft Ignite. So every yearly conference, it's a barf of new product announcements. Wasn't AI, Apple Intelligence was supposed to take over the world? Wasn't GPT-5 supposed to take over the world? So we see a lot of magnitude of announcements, volume, and and that's what we're seeing here. So 100% optional. Come back and show me the bacon, and with real use cases.
All right, Chris.
I'll say optional as well. It was a product announcement, and I'm partial probably to the Google space. So,
Me too, Chris. But I think this is for Microsofters, right? For people who are using the Microsoft platform, this is actually very powerful what they were introducing.
Well, I'm sure they were blasted with 5,000 emails from the Microsoft reps.
Adam. All right, we're trading. Too bad we don't have volatility index like the VIX here. We could trade the VIX. What's up, Adam?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards essential, certainly at least important. Paul, this is far more than product announcement, and this is stuff that has already shipped. I have colleagues that are already using the Agent Factory, which you will come to see that it is profound in terms of the impact it's going to have. The top Azure engineer at our company had his mind blown today, and then got beyond a meeting and blew my mind. This stuff is a lot more than I think it comes out of just sort of product announcements. There's a lot of work that has gone into integrating their platforms, making it easier than ever. Just probably important alone is knowing that they finally integrated Anthropic into their model catalog. That in itself would be an important piece of news, and that was one tiny footnote in some of the major announcements. But I mean, I'm not super impressed by WorkRQ. I'm not super impressed by the agent mode in the apps like Word and Excel. I haven't really tested them either. Agent 365, this control plane, I'm not so sure, but I will tell you this what do they call it? The Agent Factory, where you can now control and deploy agents across Copilot Studio and the Foundry from one single point of control is incredibly powerful. And this is important. I mean, if you're not a Microsoft shop, yeah, maybe this is going to be optional, but overall for the industry, this is at least important.
And so what they're introducing, I haven't tested it, but I think the ability to productize the various apps, string them together and make them into essentially a production level capability, that's what they are focusing in the environments here. So I think it's a step up of what we were able to do before. So that's why I was very excited about that particular way. So in talking about the future of work, they're enabling a different level of orchestration.
And Lou, to that, one thing maybe for the AI leader, as they think about their 3-year AI roadmap, maybe what we're really saying is because so many companies, these I'm arguing, are Microsoft shops, and Microsoft is awake now, that code vibing and stuff is going to be, they own IT, and Microsoft, and 3 years from now, we may be only talking about, ChatGPT used on the fringe within the enterprise, because Microsoft will then have by then caught up and done enough of the vibe coding and employee department level support tools.
Right. So the barrier we currently see, the vibe coding tools cannot quite integrate without IT people, coders, really looking at the stack and putting it together, enabling it, right? So what Microsoft is doing is enabling it seamlessly and providing a way for vibe coders to actually put it in. So if that's the case, they are advancing the ease with which all these apps will go in. So I think it's essential.
All right. So I'm going to go essential on this one, guys. We have to pick up the pace. We have 5 minutes to do the other half. So, so only essential commentary. Okay. So I'm going essential because of the it's a big deal for Microsoft. Big step up. Microsoft's a huge player. All right. Grok 4.1. Where are we on this one, Adam?
I rated this as important, although it sounds like you're going from 4.0 to 4.1. This is really like a 4.5. If you get under the hood and you look at some of the ways they've actually started using agents for their reinforcement learning. They're really taking their ability to scale this intelligence to a new level. It has higher EQ benchmarks. It's actually just below the new Gemini 3 on the LLM text arena leaderboard, like at 99% of their score. It has a 1483 with a 1501 for the new Gemini 3. I mean, if you haven't gotten the message that XAI is coming fast and hard and they are competing at the top of the state-of-the-art models, you need to get that message now.
All right, we're headed for important, Chris.
I'd say important. Grok's a great model to check out if you haven't, and they're always improving it quickly.
Paul?
Important.
Luda?
I'll go with important, but from all the other announcements, I think it's optional. It's yet another model. It's powerful. It's alternative, but they don't have the environments the other ones are building. So they have a catch-up job. So until they do, this is a great model. Yeah, but we have a number of great models.
And most companies aren't using them, Luda.
Exactly. For other reasons, not for their capabilities, for other reasons.
Again, Paul, I don't think we have a good view into what the entrepreneurial class is doing and what there's a lot of people out there that aren't our customers that are using these things. Anyway, Ankash, go ahead for important.
I was optional on this one, John. One of the comments that people are making on Twitter is that this is less harmful, so it doesn't give wrong answers a lot, but it tries to please everyone a lot. So not a great model as such, I would say. And as Paul was mentioning, we don't know how many people are using it. So I think an optional announcement, we can say a product announcement from Grok.
All right, I'm going to give it an important. I think this is more of a competitor than a lot of you guys think it is. Okay, 3 years from GPT to Gemini 3. Next article.
So for this is Ethan Mullick's new writing. It's an ode a little bit to Gemini 3, but it really sets that in the last 1,000 days we've gone from AIs that sort of could write poetry or write some really funny 5-paragraph essays or do something with some hallucinations to go into an environment where we have AI coding agents that are building entire sort of data pipelines. They're really actively doing cognitive work, replacing traditional workers in many ways or augmenting the way work is done. So this is going through and sharing some of those benchmarks specifically about Gemini and some of the anti-gravity announcements yesterday. I would say that I always like Ethan Mullick's work. I would say that this is a good read, maybe important, maybe because it's almost a 3-year anniversary of ChatGPT coming out that I'm a little sentimental. So I'd say it's important for the business reader.
All right, going for important here. What do you think, Paul?
Optional.
Optional. Akash?
Optional, John.
Optional. Luda?
Yeah, unfortunately optional. For popularization and understanding the gap, he uses examples, and for that reason, it might be important. But from all the stuff that we've had today, I think it's optional.
Chris?
Chris let it off.
I went with definitely easy to move.
Yeah,
to
I'll give my 2 cents. My vote for important. I think in some ways, all of this other news today almost becomes irrelevant if they don't understand this. Yeah. Like there's some really core fundamental educational things that still need to be done foundationally. And we're so far past it that I think we sometimes overlook how important it is to have articles like this that really allow people to connect and understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Great point, Adam. Great point.
I was thinking about making it essential. I think we have an anchoring bias. There are a lot of big news, so we're taking this thing and saying it's not that important. It's actually a pretty good article, I think.
Yeah.
So let's give it an important. I'll succumb to the anchoring bias just a bit. All right, last and not least, how Amazon's using AI. Mm-hmm.
Yes, John. So basically, this one talks about how Amazon is using GenAI and Agentic AI in its retail and e-commerce business. So this talks about a lot of products, including roofers, Buy For Me, Help Me Decide. So Amazon is using GenAI for summarization, for suggesting things. One thing that impressed me in this was the buy for me feature. So basically, if you can't find a product on Amazon, this buy for me feature, you can click on it, and that agent will buy that product from any other website for you from the internet. So I think interesting set of use cases that Amazon is showing here, which everyone in retail and broadly can also use. So I was important on this one, John.
All right, Chris.
I'll give this an important as well. I think Amazon's going to change retail with AI, and we're going to see it starting probably next week. So we're going to see how well this plays out. I think it's going to do well.
Yeah, Adam.
I was actually leaning towards essential. I mean, this is like Amazon use case on steroids. Some of the numbers in terms of the metrics and what they've achieved and what they've been able to accomplish. And literally last night, or maybe the night before, I was on there chatting with Rufus, and I'm very impressed with it. And I think people just need to really look at this as an indication of where things are going. Yeah. Like, you're literally looking at the future when you go on Amazon. You chat with Rufus right now, and this does a good job of peeling it back and giving people a concept of what you can do with multi-agent systems and really bring value to your customers. So yeah, I was leaning towards essential.
All right, leaning towards essential. Paul, where are you?
Well, 1,000% essential. I mean, this is way more of e-commerce. You know, B2C is going to take off, we said repeatedly, way more than B2B. We're a week away from Black Friday. Every executive is going to be watching all the e-commerce stuff and the transformation. And it's going to be great clues for them to understand what's coming to their industry. And it's chock full of, you know, high quality stats and bacon. So triple essential.
Luda?
Absolutely essential. Absolutely positively essential. They're showing the way of how life will be, and it's easy and it's working. So it's not like a trial. It's not a product announcement. All of these pieces have been working. They're just showcasing them, putting them together. Essential.
Yeah, over 70% of U.S. Shopping online starts at Amazon. So it's just, this is essential, no question. All right. I'm going to, Luda, if you could just take us through the last couple minutes here and take us through these announcements and the tote. Thanks, everybody. See you all tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Thanks, John. Ankash, if you could prepare the scorecard for us. And today was a fun day of 3 essentials and 3 importance. We haven't seen this, Adam, right, for a little while, and Ankash, right? So this is like, I don't know what the major labs did, but all come in and on this, maybe before the new year or something. But this is an amazing set, an amazing day with very critical announcements. Chris, any reflection on that?
I think it's just so exciting. We're right at this 3-year time frame. I mean, I started the Facebook group AI for Business and Life right around 3 years ago in December of 2022. So it's been an amazing ride to see how fast we've moved, how quickly we've moved. And we're just now starting to see our capability, not even the impact. So it's really exciting times.
Okay, Adam, reflections?
I was just thinking today, even as all these models come out, and we've heard this commentary before when they talk about sort of the scaling laws and stuff. It's like, if we never even got Gemini 3.0 or Grok 4.1 or these new things from Microsoft, there is so much capability already out there in the market, and we're not even close to starting to scratch the surface on all of the value we're going to extract out of it. So they're continuing to accelerate away in terms of the capability, but there's this lagging market that's trying to even get their head around how to adopt all of this, where in some ways, all of this is totally irrelevant. Like 3-6 months from now, when they figure out which model they're going to production with, no one's even going to remember the Gemini 3 announcement, right? That's going to be so old news. It's wild.
So it's very interesting because I've heard a comment saying it probably will slow down because we haven't seen that push, right? And now we did just today, right? So it is not slowing down, but it comes in waves. And people now are more lost probably after today than ever. So it will be interesting to watch. Ankash, your thoughts?
No, this has been, I would say, a momentous day in the field of Gen AI, right? So many announcements from every provider out there. So the XAI one, the Grok one, we don't take Grok seriously, but I
They
have a
will come.
hunch that in the next
They're
6 months, it might topple everyone. Yeah, it will be the top of the leaderboard. So yeah, but yeah,
They are.
great to see so
It's
many announcements.
like a car at the starting line. Yeah. Agree. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I was just too excited. All right.
No, that's all, Luda.
Sorry, Ankash. Finish.
Yes. So, Luda, just wanted to highlight our AU roundtable that we are doing with head of marketing, performance marketing on 21st of November. We will be discussing best practices, how different people are doing their AU. So if anybody is interested, they can reach out to Paul and be a part of this. It's on November 21.
Wonderful. And ChatGPT tomorrow. Anything you want to learn about everything you want to learn about ChatGPT is tomorrow at noon. Also sign up. All right. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Ashish, Ram, Crystal, Lucinda, for pitching in. Really appreciate it. Chris, thanks for being here and sharing your views. We'll see you all tomorrow.